This number right here is lying to you. Your Tesla didn't suddenly lose range. The software estimate drifted, and thousands of owners panic because they think their $11,000 pack is degrading. One small charging behavior resets the reference points and brings the range estimate back toward normal. If practical Tesla ownership tips matter to you, consider subscribing. Stop using the rated range number as a battery diagnosis. Stop treating the rated range number as a battery health report. The number on the screen is not a direct measurement of how much energy the battery pack can hold. It is an estimate calculated by Tesla's battery management system BMS using software models and sensor data. Tesla itself explains that battery health and available energy are calculated using data from the vehicle's battery management system rather than a simple measurement of capacity. That means the miles shown on the display are based on an energy estimate, not a physical test of the battery pack. If the BMS slightly adjusts its estimate of usable energy, the rated range number changes even if the battery itself hasn't meaningfully changed. This is why two Tesla vehicles with the same state of charge can show slightly different range numbers. The system continuously refines its estimate using voltage data, charging patterns, and previous cycles. So when the number drops slightly, it doesn't automatically mean degradation. Often it simply means the software estimate has shifted. The car is recalculating what it believes the pack can deliver. Why the BMS estimate gradually drifts. Stop assuming the range estimate stays perfectly calibrated. Your Tesla doesn't measure battery capacity directly. The battery management system BMS estimates usable energy by observing battery behavior across different states of charge SOC and voltage levels. Many owners keep the battery within a tight window, often 60–80%. While convenient, this limits the data the BMS can observe. When the pack rarely reaches lower or higher charge levels, the system loses clear voltage reference points along the battery curve. Over time, the estimate becomes slightly conservative. When that happens, the rated range number drops. Even though the battery itself hasn't meaningfully changed, nothing inside the cells suddenly degraded. The system simply has less confidence in its estimate. Once normal driving and charging expose more of the SOC range again, the BMS refines the estimate and the displayed range stabilizes. The narrow so-out habit that confuses the battery estimate. Stop keeping the battery inside the exact same charge window every day. Many owners set a daily limit around 70 mAh and rarely move outside that range. While that habit feels careful, it limits how much information the battery management system can observe. Battery management systems estimate usable energy by analyzing voltage behavior across the state of charge curve. When the battery experiences a wider range of charge and discharge levels, the system gains clearer voltage reference points and improves its estimate. Engineering research on Tesla battery systems explains that these estimates rely heavily on voltage measurements and calibration data gathered during normal cycles. If the battery spends long periods inside a narrow SOC window, the system sees only a small portion of that voltage curve. The estimate can slowly become conservative, which causes the rated range number to drift downward. Allowing occasional variation in normal driving and charging cycles gives the system more information to work with. When the BMS observes more of the voltage curve again, its estimate becomes more confident, and the displayed range often stabilizes. Why your energy graph is often more accurate than rated range. Open the energy graph when you want a more realistic picture of your remaining range. The rated range number on the dashboard assumes the car consumes energy at Tesla's rated wage per mile under controlled conditions. Real driving rarely matches that. Your actual range depends on speed, temperature, terrain, climate use, and traffic. The energy graph instead looks at recent driving consumption and projects range based on how the car is actually using energy. Because of that, it adjusts quickly to real conditions. By combining recent watt-hours per mile with available battery energy, the energy graph provides a clearer estimate of how far your Tesla can travel right now. If you find this useful, consider subscribing for more Tesla insights. The calibration behavior. Most owners never trigger. Let the battery occasionally move through a wider charge range. Many owners keep it around 70–80% and rarely drive it lower. While convenient, this limits what the battery management system BMS can observe. The BMS estimates usable energy by tracking voltage across different states of charge SOC. When the battery reaches both lower and higher levels, the system gains clearer reference points along the voltage curve. If the pack stays in a narrow SOC window for long periods, the estimate can become conservative, causing the rated range number to drift downward even though the battery hasn't changed. Occasional wider charge cycles give the BMS better data and help stabilize the estimate. Why full charges are not the real solution. Stop charging to 100% just to fix the range number. Some forums claim repeated full charges restore lost range, but the battery management system BMS doesn't recalibrate that way. A full charge provides a high SOC reference, but the BMS estimates usable energy by observing voltage across the entire state of charge range, not just the top. Tesla recommends a daily charge limit below full to reduce time at peak voltage and protect battery longevity. Full charges are mainly for trip preparation. What improves the estimate more is normal variation in charge levels during regular driving, which gives the BMS clearer reference points to refine its estimate. Temperature effects that make range look worse. Expect the range number to drop in cold weather. Lower temperatures make lithium-ion cells temporarily less efficient until the battery warms up. Cold batteries have higher internal resistance, so energy cannot flow as easily. Some stored energy becomes temporarily unavailable, and the battery management system BMS reports lower available range even though the battery hasn't lost capacity. Cold weather also increases energy use, as the car heats the cabin and warms the battery, and regenerative braking may be limited while the pack is cold. Precondition the battery when possible. Once the pack reaches normal temperature, much of the temporary range drop disappears. Phantom drain and idle behavior. Check what your Tesla is doing while parked. A small overnight drop in battery percentage is often phantom drain, not battery loss. Features like Sentry Mode, cabin overheat protection, and background connectivity can draw power while the car sits. Frequent checks from the Tesla mobile app or third-party apps can also wake the vehicle and prevent proper sleep mode. When the car stays awake, it continues using energy in the background. Over time, that standby usage shows up as a gradual drop in battery percentage. If the car will sit for long periods, review your settings. Turn off features you don't need, and avoid repeatedly waking the vehicle through apps. When the Tesla enters deep sleep, background power drops significantly, and overnight battery changes become much smaller and more predictable. The ownership habit that keeps range accurate. Use your Tesla normally instead of micromanaging the battery. The battery management system BMS learns from real driving and charging behavior. It estimates usable energy by observing how the battery behaves across different states of charge. When the car occasionally moves through wider charge and discharge levels, the BMS gains clearer voltage reference points and improves its estimate. You don't need complicated routines. A sensible daily charge limit, regular driving, and occasional variation in charge levels give the system enough data to stay accurate. Problems usually appear when the battery stays in a narrow usage window for long periods. When the pack experiences a broader portion of the SOC range, the BMS maintains a more stable estimate. In simple terms, drive normally, charge sensibly, and let the system keep learning. Final thought: what that range number actually means. Remember what that number on the screen really is. It's an estimate. Your Tesla's battery management system calculates usable energy based on charging behavior, voltage data, and how the battery has been used over time. When the estimate drifts, it doesn't necessarily mean the battery lost capacity. Often the system simply needs clearer reference points across the state of charge range to refine its calculation. Use the car normally. Keep a sensible daily charge limit and allow natural variation in driving and charging. As the system sees more real data, the estimate becomes more accurate again. The key principle is simple. The display is software, but the battery performance is physical. Focus on how the car actually drives, not just the number on the screen. For more practical Tesla ownership insights, consider subscribing.